So congratulations on another win. Just how hard have you had to work for that one today?
Very hard, but we're really pleased with the win. Another clean sheet again. So, we need to keep going.
Yeah, lots to be proud of at both ends of the pitch. How patient did you have to be, particularly in that first half, with the way that Palace were able to keep you out for really half an hour until your first opportunity?
Yeah, indeed. I think lately it has been like that. We just need to keep patient throughout the whole game, because we can score any time. But they try to adapt to us as well, and that's what we did today. We created some more chances in the second half. We had, it would be nice if we would have put the game to bed, but we battled until the end, and those are sweet as well.
The breakthrough coming from a set piece again, it feels as if there's a tension in the Emirates now in dead ball situations, certainly in the crowd. Do you feel it as players on the pitch, that expectation?
Yeah, a little bit, but we are excited as well. When we get a set piece, we know we can score, so it's an opportunity for us to get a goal. So we work a lot on it, and it pays off.
It's another game today where you've managed to get 3 points against opposition, which previously you've dropped points in title seasons. What's the difference? How are you seeing these games out now?
It's hard to put a finger on it, but I think every year you just learn more and more, and this year we're so strong, especially defensively as well. The whole team works really hard, and then on the other hand we put the game to bed, whether it's a set piece or an open play goal, doesn't matter to us. We just want to win games, and it's another win. Does
it feel like you're laying the foundations for something pretty special here this year?
Yeah, let's hope. We want to win every game, and we approach every game the same way, so that's how we need to continue.
All right, congratulations, well done today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
When Leandro Trossard says, when we get a set piece, we're confident we can score, might be something of an understatement
we get
at the
excited.
moment for Arsenal.
Absolutely. I mean, you start to then think, as a player and as an attacking player, we don't necessarily need to be as exact and actually create a chance anymore, get an assist, score. We can play for set pieces. The scope of what you can then achieve when you're in possession of the ball just becomes so much bigger, and obviously then you're getting the big guys off the back. The delivery is always excellent, but put that together with we just saw the run of the last 7 games. All victories, only 1 goal conceded in that. So you put both of those together, they're strong at both ends of the pitch, and everything's going their way at the moment.
Only Nick Voltemada in those 7 games has managed to score a goal against them. It was 2.5 games before they even had a shot against them till the second half there. I mean, they're just so hard to try and break down.
But they're so stingy. But it's not only their back 5 I talked about before the game of thinking they're the best in the league. Well, I look at Timber again today. He's got everything. I mean, it's just so powerful. He's quick. He's good on the ball. He tucks around. He's a leader. Saliba comes off injured there today. Looks like they're trying to protect a little injury from him. Mascara comes on. Looks like it's a seamless transition. He just comes on, does the job. Calafiori comes off. They make changes, and they're able to cope. Declan Rice comes off with a little injury. I think he was carrying an ankle injury from the first half. But if he can't make the next game, there's no dramas anymore because of the squad that they've built. Look, every team wants to, play expansive football, put a load of passes together and open teams up and score from open play. But you can't always do it, especially when teams sit on a low block, like Palace did today. Palace were going nowhere. They were quite happy just to suffer out of possession and try and score on a counter-attack. They're a threat. We know they're a threat because they're a side they're party poopers. Wherever they go, they cause a problem. But Arsenal just don't panic, and they just think, we might have to score from different means today. It might not be pretty, but we need maximum points already. We're at home, and they don't panic. And I think they've got that calmness and belief that eventually they will score. If they don't score from the first header, the first contact on their set pieces, everyone knows from fine detail where they need to be when that ball might drop, and that's exactly what Eze did. I mean, Gabriel makes it good. He can't get the header on target, but he knows he can put it down into an area where they're coming in. And that's exactly what they did. I mean, the pass, without the delivery, it all falls down. But he just knocks it back into that area, and Adam Wharton switches off, unfortunately. Guy he drops in, plays them all onside straight away. And he just knocks it down into that area, and Eze just steals the march on Adam Wharton and finishes it brilliantly. The technique to keep that down is fantastic.
Yeah, I always feel Arsenal are on the move in those areas as well. Their movement is great, but they're also, they all know their particular jobs. The delivery is excellent. The big guys attack a certain area, and the smaller guys are then anticipating where the ball might land, where it might go to, and on that occasion, Eze's quickest to it and a brilliant finish.
That was probably Crystal Palace's fans' worst nightmare this morning, that he hadn't scored yet in the Premier League for Arsenal. He was going to do it today against Palace.
Yeah, I mean, he owes a lot to Crystal Palace. They're the club what made him. He's had an opportunity built up at Queen's Park Rangers and he wanted to play in the Premier League. Palace took him. He was very good for them, but they were also good for... he showed the respect when he celebrated there, but he's got to move what he wanted. He was already a hero before he goes to Arsenal because it's... the analogy I use, it was like Tottenham have got a Christmas present on New Year's Eve under the tree, and when they get down in the morning, it's gone. And he's gone to your best friend. Like Arsenal, it was horrendous. But for the Arsenal fan, it was amazing news. And he's an incredible player. What a player that kid is, because it doesn't have to settle. Leon touched on it. The boy's played hundreds of games in the Premier League at top level. He knows the transition was easy. Going in and around the quality players what Arsenal have as well. It was just an easy transition for him, but to steal him from Tottenham like they did was just disgusting.
And this goal, as Tim says, wasn't celebrated, and he got a standing ovation from both sets of supporters. What they don't need for Christmas is any more defensive reinforcement, because look at the numbers, Leon. The first in absolutely everything in terms of those defensive foundations.
Yeah, and that just doesn't fall into place. That is recruitment, getting the right players, getting depth within that, but also then hours spent on the coaching pitch, hours spent working as a team, understanding exactly how the manager wants you to defend in each and individual situation. So you can see how hard they are working. And when you do that in training, quite often, Tim will tell you, when you're getting put through your paces at training, if the results aren't on the pitch, you start to lose belief and lose sort of, real belief in that the manager's ideas are going to work. But actually, at the moment, everything that they seem to be doing, set pieces, defensive situations, creating opportunities, all seems to be working. And then you can really buy into what the manager's asking you every time he asks you to do something different.
Absolutely right. I mean, to highlight that, 11 goals they've scored from set pieces. If they haven't scored 11 goals, the players are turning, they're asking questions why they're doing 3 hours a week on set plays. They're not asking any questions now because they know if they're not flying, if they're not scoring from open play, there's always a chance. The size of the players, the strength of them as well. But the delivery is absolutely spot on. But it's diligent on the work.
As we welcome you back inside our studio, Tim Howard, Robbie Earle, Rebecca Lowe. It feels, Tim, defining, does it? Not defining, because we're only in October. Yeah. I should just take that back, but it feels significant.
Yeah, it's significant for sure. I mean, this is what we were talking about. Can Arsenal capitalize? And we opened today's show with, they just feel like they're ready-made for this title. It doesn't mean they're going to get it. It's been coming. I like the way that they approach games. I like the way that they control games. They have real top talent in every position. And I just think, the cushion that they're creating right now, they feel like they're going strength to strength. Again, with City dropping points, Liverpool dropping points, they'll be looking at this top four and thinking this is a good chasing pack.
Tim, what was wrong with City today?
Well, I don't really buy into the rhetoric of them being over-reliant on Haaland, but it's kind of feeling like that might be the case. Rodgers a massive miss. We've been saying that for years now. When he's not in the team, this team just looks completely different, and it's tough.
Arsenal, do it again. 1-0. Was it tight?
They weren't at their best. Eze comes up with a goal. You could have written that somewhere last night. They didn't play scintillating football. But of all the teams in the Premier League, Rebecca, they can rely on a clean sheet, and they got another one today. 3 goals now conceded in 9 games is incredible. 6-point gap to Manchester City, 7-point gap to Liverpool. And the thing I would say is, watching games, they look further ahead than those points. That's how good they are. Now they've got to show a ruthlessness. They've got to show that, all that Arsenal bottling it and all that stuff that came back in the past. They've got to show that they can go beyond that and stretch this lead to 9, 10, 11 points. So we get into Easter and they've got a real buffer between them and the other teams. The moment Man City are still figuring things out. If Haaland doesn't score, it's a problem. Liverpool can't keep a clean sheet. Things ain't working particularly well at the front end of the pitch. Arsenal have to make the most of those two situations.
Yeah, it does feel like a big gap in terms of display, quality, performances, doesn't it? Not just the points, but just a gap.
Well, what also saying is it's kind of like, it's what I'm seeing. So, like, a season or 2 seasons ago, those 1-0 games were draws.
And they dropped 14 games, didn't they?
Yeah, and you're just like, oh, they're going to drop points. This team doesn't look like they're going to drop 1-0. Comfortable. They defend their goal. They don't give you chances. It looks a completely different team in those moments.
I mean, does it look right now like Arsenal could run away with it, Robbie?
We could get to February. If they can keep this going and continue to stop people getting even shots at their goal, this could be done by February.
3 goals they've conceded all season long in 13 games in all competitions. Arsenal lead the league table by 4 points.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host of NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long, and for even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock.
Well, is that a big reason why they're having such a good start to the season, why they are so fancy to go on and win it, Micah?
Yeah, I think Arsenal have been absolutely brilliant. I think in terms of Arsenal, what they can do, they can win in any way. Yes, we've talked about the set pieces. Yes, we've talked about defensively. But I actually think with Gyökeres, the way he stretches opposition to allow the likes of Eze and Saka to get involved, Martinelli running in behind, Trossard getting in them pockets as well. I just think they're a brilliant team to watch. Watching them in the Champions League against Atletico, I thought it was going to be 2 teams who sat back and it'd be very difficult. But they went there, expressed themselves. I told them a couple of weeks ago, or I thought, they had the handbrake on. They've taken the handbrake off now. And Arsenal, if they want it, it's certainly there for them.
Well, they have a chance to extend their lead at the top of the table today. Now, Liverpool, of course, fascinating what's going on there right now. 4 straight defeats in the Premier League. Manchester City lurking in third. This could be quite a pivotal weekend in many ways, Jamie.
Yeah, I think it could, because you look at Manchester City's game away at Aston Villa's not an easy game. I think if Arsenal can win today, you think of that daylight between themselves and Liverpool, but also Manchester City, if they don't get maximum points. And looking at Arsenal right now, they look by far the best team in this country right now. It's very early days, of course it is, but they need to capitalise on the situation they find themselves in with other clubs right now, because they could achieve a sizable lead in these early stages.
They do say we're not supposed to look at the table until 10 games in, but I tell you what, Sunderland fans are looking at it. Bournemouth fans are absolutely looking at it right now. They have a chance to climb as well today. Manchester City, though, Micah, you were pretty confident at the start of this season, and then very early, a little bit of a smack on the nose, losing at home to Spurs and then away at Brighton. What's the feeling now, though? 9 unbeaten.
Wolves, I remember doing that game, and there was outstanding. We talked about Reinders' energy in midfield. Man City struggle certainly on that transition. Then the Spurs game in Brighton, I thought it was back to Man City of last season. Then they went on this tremendous run. I still don't think they're quite at the very best, but they've got someone in Erling Haaland who's playing some of the best football of his life. And not just that, we know Haaland can score goals. It's the way he's scoring the goals. When teams are going into that low block, now he's finding that space. But if there's one team that could stop Arsenal, yeah, I would pick Man City.
Jamie, would you say if there's one player, I think you have said this, there's one player that can stop Arsenal, it's Erling Haaland. He scored in 11 of these 12 games.
Yeah, listen, we all know this is not the best Manchester City team we've seen under Pep Guardiola, but right now he's the best player in the Premier League by a long distance, as Micah has just said. And yes, it's early days in the Premier League, but for me, right now, he's the only man who can stop Arsenal winning the Premier League this season.
What do you see differently in his game now, Jamie? Because you and Alan Eyes on the Mondays and all that sort of thing. He's always scored goals. He picked up an injury last season. But what's different?
Listen, I don't think there's massive amounts that are different. Let's not forget his first season he came in. He scored a goal a game then. He's just back to those heights again. And I think sometimes, because Manchester City didn't have their best season last season, you'd almost forget about him in terms of talking about the best players in the world or the best goal scorers. But he's just back in terms of scoring goals. Manchester City look like the back as well. But the big thing when you look at those results, we're talking about Haaland's goals, how many clean sheets are there as well. Yeah. That's very important for them.
Steak and raw milk. That's the secret.
Yes.